Hey guys, welcome back to another AMA session. Now, you already have seen from the title, it is about waves. And for those of you guys who've been here, for some time, you have heard about waves from my channel. I've uploaded, I think, 3 to 4 videos about waves, constantly updating on what's happening with waves because it is really significant and it's one of the top projects that I've have the honor to work with. And this is going to be the AMA in which we talked further, about the updates that we're going to have, in Waves. And for this, I am joined here with John Poole, who's the head of community of Waves Lab. So we're going to have a very productive conversation on what's coming with Waves and, talk about some other stuff. So I think this is going to be a good conversation. And thank you so much for taking time out for this session. And I'll let you take it away from here.
Thank you very much, Pablo. Just to reiterate, I'm John Poole, the head of community at Waves. Waves Labs specifically was built in 2022 to try and harmonize and create real decentralization within our ecosystem at Waves. We were built in 2016, second largest crowd-funded ICO in the history of ICOs, next to Ethereum, 30,000 Bitcoin. So huge success in terms of community support. And over the last 6 years, Waves built project after project with a very success-driven model. But as you could imagine, a project with that amount of funding and with that amount of projects being built at the same time, there wasn't really a harmonization, a family vibe that was incorporated throughout the longevity of the ecosystem. And that's really what Waves Labs was created to support. So I'm coming in, head of community. Thank you very much. Very honored to have that title. Give a little background about myself. I'm about 4.5 years coming from Oasis Protocol Foundation, built that community from day zero, from scratch. And when I was considering where to take the next step, I really wanted to take what I had built and turned it into a DAO, something that was really for decentralization and for community itself. When I shopped around where to take this idea, Waves was the perfect solution because of one of the products that we're coming out with in 2023 called Power DAO. It's very exciting. I'll give you a little bit of hype towards that. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But it was the back end of the DAO mechanisms that I was looking for, the Ambassador Program DAO, which will be called SandDAO in the future. And I'll get a little bit more into that. But that's how I got the position that I have, and I'm very privileged to support over 800,000 members within our ecosystem.
Now, there's you guys have an overview on what we're going to discuss. There's major changes that will be coming, and most of this is really focused toward decentralization. It looks like you guys are taking it very, very seriously, and this is something that a lot of other places are not promoting. And we know the problem with decentralization that we're going to have, even after what happened with the F-sticks and so forth. People who are still being in the decentralized spaces, I think it's not a decent idea at this point. So Waves is doing a lot to promote decentralization, and we're going to focus a lot about what steps they're taking to ensure more decentralization and what benefits that we're going to have as users. So, and another major topic, which I think a lot of you guys will probably have heard if you know about the Waves. So there was this really big cracking news that the Neutrino stablecoin, the USDN, has now been changed into an index token called XDN. So a lot of people have been wondering about what happened over there, and that's what we're going to break down in this video. Now, I'll let John, take it away from here on what happened with USDN and why was it turned into XDN and what's going to happen afterwards. So take it away.
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Many of you may be here to listen about what's happening with USDN. For those of you that don't know, I'll give a little background on the Waves ecosystem itself in a moment, but addressing the elephant in the room, being fully transparent, very honest, it was an algorithmic stablecoin that unfortunately received an attack, much like many of the other ecosystem, not ecosystem projects, but many of the other industry projects like Luna, Celsius, FTX. They were targeted mathematical attacks, and we had one on our ecosystem. It was very unfortunate, but the difference being is that we survived. We were able to pivot. We've provided solutions time and time again that unfortunately just did not help us get that peg back to $1. So our solution to this is to roll it over into an index token. And I'll read a little bit of verbiage here. Neutrino, they just came out with a new white paper. So for those of you that are trying to understand where is this going for the bag holders that are involved right now, please head over to our blog. Big shout out to Matt, our head of content, who's built an amazing blog site. A lot of good articles in there, which I'll touch upon shortly. But Neutrino's releasing a new white paper. It's outlining the transition from a stablecoin into an ecosystem index token, and it's backed by a basket of Waves-based cryptocurrencies. So this is the unique thing about this, being decentralized, wanting to push our ecosystem forward. We had many of our ecosystem projects step up and say, hey, we don't want our community to suffer. We don't want them to feel like we are not supporting, trying to make them whole. So the teams of these tokens will be donating a total of $15 million. And it's WX, Vyers, Swap, Egg, even Waves Enterprise with West are supporting this transition. So USDM will continue to provide a valuable utility to holders, now with a soft peg price, and it can float between and above $1 based on the value of the collateral. So that's a huge change. I do urge you to head over to our blog and take a look at that. But some of you might be wondering, okay, well, Neutrino, algorithmic stablecoins, that's not Waves. That's just one facet. That's just one tiny project within our DeFi ecosystem. Let's talk about Waves. Let me give you, now that the elephant's been addressed, let me give you a little background about, who Waves is and what we are. We're an open blockchain protocol, layer one, developed for Web3 applications and decentralized solutions. We have our own token. Yes, it's Waves. We are a leased proof of stake ecosystem. So for those of you that understand the POS ecosystem or the way of staking, this is a slightly different version. Some of you may be familiar with delegating in various ways. This is called leased proof of stake. It's very similar to delegating. You delegate or lease your tokens to a node on your behalf, and you can earn as the nodes do themselves. For performance, in 2017, there was Waves NG protocol. It boosts the blockchain to about 1,000 transactions per second, which is phenomenal in terms of scalability and throughput. Many of the projects that still have these growing pains from 2018 haven't come up with solutions yet, or they're trying to take things off chain, or various ways of trying to solve the same issues. But we've already got performance integrated into the chain itself, transparency, and all of this, by the way, is at Waves Tech website. You can go to our documentation. You can learn a little bit more about our base layer, our layer one, but everything's on GitHub. Everything's fully transparent. And it really is an ecosystem for developers. So I urge you to take a look at that. One of the things that we're trying to do at Waves, as Crypto Pablo alluded to, is we are trying to become fully decentralized. And one of the ways that we're doing that is one of our blog posts called The Path Towards Decentralization. Given the spat of recent centralized exchange insolvencies, Waves, we realized we revealed our plan to accelerate towards full community control of our ecosystem, including the creation of what it will be Waves Association DAO that will be responsible for fully decentralizing all projects. And I know that's a mouthful, like that's a big
Yeah.
statement, but it's true. Waves Association DAO will be responsible for fully decentralizing our projects on the ecosystem. The Waves team, we've committed to donate $10 million of its ecosystem project governance tokens to Waves Association DAO. So that's just one of the ways that we're trying to give back to the community and let people know we are really moving towards decentralization. We've even gone as far as trying to decentralize the way our community is engaged with and supported. And as head of community, I'm very privileged to lead our ambassador program. It's one of my specialties. I build human systems, and this is one that I'm very, very proud of. It will be called Sandow in the future. It will be a fully decentralized automated organization or autonomous organization in terms of controlling how our community is engaged with. And many of you might be thinking, like, how would that work? Well, take what is happening to us right now with our data. Our data is the most valuable commodity in the world right now. It's more valuable than oil. It is essential in the future of Web3, the battle of Web2 versus Web3, data and our privacy and all the confidentiality that comes with our data is at the forefront of this. But one of the mechanisms that's being abused is the economics behind our data. Community members are giving away value every single day with every click, every engagement that they do. And it's actually being monetized by agencies as we speak. Many of you may not realize that a lot of the shillers, influencers, there's so much that's rampant in the industry with bad actors that are actually fooling you into thinking that you're seeing transparent and honest information when in fact it's paid or influenced by a centralized entity in the background. The ambassador program DAO, Sandow, with the premise of a single grain of sand having very little impact on the world. It can be an irritating or um, it can scratch things and get in the way of things, be a nuisance, but it really doesn't hold up the way it does as a community. You put all that sand together and it forms a beach and it can hold up the ocean and waves crash down on that and it doesn't flinch. So that's kind of where we're trying to take the community mindset, is being a supported entity where we take the funds that would traditionally be given to shilling agencies or influencer programs and we give it back to the community in a way that's organic and transparent and honest. And that way we can try and build decentralization organically
Yeah.
right from the ground level, which is the community. And many of you heard me say this before, the community is the lifeblood of decentralized businesses. I talk about this at length. It really is the supercharging entity that touches upon every department within a project. And therefore, we are the most valuable asset that a project can build. And therefore, we should receive some of the kickbacks that come with engaging within the community ourselves. So that's a little bit of how we're trying to move towards decentralization. I'll talk more about the ambassador program in a little bit. If you're on the fringe of being a passive community member, let's get you into being an engaged, active community member using your real world skill sets. It would be my privilege to have you join that team and help Waves move forward.
Right. And all these information, you guys already can see the blog pages, but I'm going to give you guys links in the description as well, so you can check it out for yourself. And there's a possibility we'll be doing a whole other session about the ambassador
Yes.
program, because it is so significant and it is such a wonderful opportunity. So I think it will be kind of like unfair to give it just a little segment within one AMA session. So we'll probably be doing the in another AMA session. We'll be talking details on that. So if you are interested in this one, make sure that you keep a track on this channel. We'll be working on the next AMA session as well, and you'll have further details on the investor program and how you can join into it and how you can start and so forth. So we're gonna talk more on the decentralization, of course. We have other topics to discuss. So before we come down to further talk about decentralization, because I think it really needs more time, there's this an independent development team, a Pepe team, which is doing a lot for the Waves, and I've been hearing about it in multiple places. They launched S Waves, which is a liquid staking token on Waves. So can you cover that part, and afterwards we're going to move to the power DAO and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things, Pepe team is actually building two products, and these are star-studded members of this team. They're very strong. We really appreciate them building on our ecosystem. They are a third party, to just clear that up. They're not internal developers. This is an independent development team, but they've actually released two products. And talking on decentralization, before I get into S Waves, let's talk about the decentralized bridge white paper.
Yeah.
The decentralized interoperable bridge, nicknamed DIB, is being built by Pepe team, an independent development team. They've released a white paper detailing this creation of DIB and what this bridge is going to enable. It's very exciting, and that's the reason that I have to talk about this. But the DIB will enable cross-chain transfers of assets between any blockchain and will use Waves as its transport blockchain. So this part is a bit of an eye-opener, because if you consider, back in 2018, interoperability was also one of these growing pains, scalability and interoperability, the scalability wars of 2018. But being able to go cross-chain has been, the last 4 or 5 years has been such a focus to try and get, why build in a redundant way when projects have already built things of very high value, and we want to access each other's work. So what the Pepe team has built, this decentralized interoperable bridge, it's going to enable it's going to reduce the fragmentation of liquidity caused by multiple chains and make Waves the center for all liquidity in DeFi. And that's really exciting for us, because as a base layer, as a transport layer, we provide a lot of solutions. Like we avoid gas, we have very fast transactions. Our RIDE language that we use for developers is very simple, and I've been told by many developers that this is a language that's very, very user friendly in terms of being able to build a product. So, this is something that we're really excited about. DeFi, decentralized finance, is huge, and I think there's a lot of things that need to change in that industry in order for us to see real mass adoption. And one of these things is this interoperable bridge. So DIB will be coming out by Pepe team, but another product that Pepe team is building is S Waves, liquidity staking on Waves. And this is kind of where where you were going, Pablo, previously, but let me talk about this product a little bit. They've launched S-Waves as a liquid staking token for Waves. The project is the fastest growing in the Waves ecosystem and the third fastest growing liquidity staking protocol across all DeFi this month. And that's a big deal for us because this is a new product. DeFi is very popular. They offer high APY of around 14%, but here's the kicker. There's no lockup period, and that's very unusual. So Pepe team, to grow liquid staking on Waves, we really could use your help. Take a look at the blog. We'll give all the information as well in the comments below. Yeah, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for Crypto Pablo as well.
Thank you.
We could talk a little bit more about PowerDAO as well. Like we've been
Yep.
talking about DAOs, we talked about the ambassador program DAO. You know, Pepe team is going to drive a lot more action within our ecosystem. But you know, one of the solutions that we're also trying to provide is a solution for DAOs themselves. And when I talked about the ambassador program earlier, the main reason that I decided to join Waves and bring this product that I was building was actually a conversation with the founder, Sasha, that I had. And for those of you that don't know Sasha, I'll give a shout out to his weekly AMA on Fridays. Every Friday, he does an open and transparent AMA with the community. He doesn't even allow me to host him. He just wants to sit there, read your messages, and engage with the community. We're also giving away 2,000 waves at these AMAs on Friday, so it's a real incentive for you to join. Say hello, tell them you know, something positive. We love to encourage positivity within our community, and we'd love to see you there. But going back to PowerDAO, having a conversation with Sasha about what I saw the future for community being in decentralized businesses, it was essentially the front side of what he had been building with PowerDAO. PowerDAO is designed to be somewhat of an accent, a mother to any child DAO that needs to use governance or any sort of like honest power system. And I'll read a little bit about this. So the PowerDAO airdrop is coming. Actually, the snapshot's happening this week. It might even happen today. So if you're interested in this, please go to our blog and check this out. We're airdropping 10% of our tokens right now, but we're doing a total of 90% of this token will be airdropped to our community. It's meant to be a community project. And what the goal really is to maximize decentralization from the start. So the airdrop will be in two phases. First, we're distributing power tokens to Waves and WCT holders, also USDN. Please go to the blog and check that out. There's a detailed description. We'll give the comment or the website in the comments below. But we're dropping those to Waves, USDN, and WCT holders. I'm very excited for WCT holders to get a little bit of an airdrop. That's the Waves community token. And for a long time, there's been promise of utility for that. So we're finally giving some utility back there, and there will be some future airdrops to that as well. And then we're going to drop tokens to external communities. So two phases, the first phase being the Waves ecosystem supporters, people that have our token. And then the second phase is going to be to external communities that believe in the vision of PowerDAO disrupting governance. So we're talking about other DAOs. We're trying to get other communities involved to say, hey, we're like-minded. Iron sharpens iron. Let's get together and help each other. We have a solution to something that many DAOs are struggling with today. Governance, treasury management, like these are all like the roadmap on the future of the DAO. These are things that become issues when you have somebody that gains too much power within a DAO themselves and they have too much control over what happens in that DAO. There needs to be a mechanism of accountability. So PowerDAO is a new open source government platform for communities. It's built to disintermediate the greatest intermediary on the planet, which is government. Well, with rewards for good decisions. So going further on that, how are we going to do that? With rewards for good decisions and penalties for bad. PowerDAO creates the first goal-based governance system. And that's, again, a powerful statement. This is the first goal-based governance system. And when you think like, what is an example of this? I'll give an example of one of our local politicians, not to throw him under the bus, but he did do this. When he was campaigning, he made a bunch of promises, as politicians do. And it's no different than a DAO governance team. These people make promises. I'm going to do this. The moment this person was elected, they being Canadian, I'll just admit, he promised a certain hockey rink in a particular city in the Metro Vancouver area. Well, this didn't happen. The moment he was elected, he used this as a campaign tool to gain votes. The moment he was elected, he changed his position on almost everything that he was voted in to do. He built that hockey rink in a different metro city that really didn't need it. And this other city was unfortunately just left to suffer, and all the community members were very upset. But if you think about this, even in Canada, in a government system that's representation by population, that is supposed to be a democracy, we have government officials that have zero accountability with no penalty towards changing policy. So if you consider what would have happened if we had a goal-based governance system, if this politician said that he was going to build this particular rink in this particular city and he didn't, he would be slashed. He would lose his power. He would lose all of the tokens that he put up as proposal tokens to even say he was going to do that in the first place. So I'm alluding to a little bit of how the way the Power DAO works. Yes, you do stake power tokens in order to give proposals that the rest of the
Right.
DAO can vote on. And if that proposal is approved, you have a certain amount of time to make that happen. And if it doesn't happen, you're penalized. So it's kind of putting your money where your mouth is. If you say you're going to do something, you should do it. And if you don't do it, you should be penalized and your reputation goes down. The more you do positive and accountable proposals that you meet your targets, the better your reputation grows and the more people are going to back your proposals. So this is kind of the way that we're trying to decentralize even governance within ecosystem projects. We're trying to convert all of our projects into decentralized projects and use Power DAO as kind of this mother DAO towards child DAOs, parent DAO if you don't like the
Right.
mother-child analogy. But this is kind of our solution towards the way that we see broken government systems around the world. And it's not just in politics, it's not just countries. This is happening in blockchain because we are revolutionizing new concepts. DAOs are changing the way that people interact and communities interact with products and the roadmap of these products. And many of them require something like this. So this is really exciting. And phase 2 is going to target those communities to try and drop that token and be a little bit more decentralized.
So these communities that you're talking about, are we talking overall communities or communities within the waves?
Both.
Both. Okay.
It really is both.
Okay.
We're looking for external communities as well. We don't want to alienate anybody. If you're from another blockchain or another ecosystem, please consider this. This is an olive branch that we're offering the industry. This isn't just for Waves. This is for all DAOs, and we are really trying to really offer solutions to the industry. And it's not just Power DAO. The Ambassador Program DAO as well is meant to eventually supersede one blockchain. It's meant to be a solution for the entire industry. And the vision for this, the roadmap that I have for Sandow, and we'll talk about it on another one of our talks, it's lengthy. I've got multiple years of building into this. It's got an NFT project. It's got so much fun stuff built behind it. It's going to have its own Web3 page with a smart contract with automatic escrow holdings for bounty payments. It's going to be really exciting. But this is kind of our path at Waves. We want to give back to the industry. We have a founder that is incredibly caring about the industry itself. He left a very interesting career in physics to come over and build what Waves is today, and he continues to dedicate himself day in, day out to try and build better solutions for our ecosystem. So join him on Friday for those AMAs. Have a look at our blog. Details will be in the comments below. But this is kind of where we're trying to go. We've got this decentralized bridge. We've got the whole mindset of decentralizing everything. One of the other things that you could actually do is check out the end of year manifesto. We're in February now, but December 30th, every year we do our end of year manifesto, and Sasha presented 4 really exciting projects that I really encourage you to watch that manifesto and talk about. Some of them relate to governments, some of them relate to digital nomads, some of them relate to some of the visions that we have at Waves, but everything that we're building right now is to try and set free what we think is not working. And one of the loaded topics that you'll see in that end of year manifesto is we believe that crypto in its current form is dead. It does not have a place moving forward with mass adoption in its current form. And the attack that took place on our ecosystem, let alone multiple other ecosystems, and this continues to happen today in an unregulated space, this is a problem. You shouldn't have centralized groups or teams that have the ability to be bad actors under the umbrella that they're not doing anything wrong because there's no rules against it in the wild west of finance, working with insurance companies to pay back, and then leaving thousands of users on the hook stuck in liquidity pools. This is an issue. And how can we have mass adoption moving forward when we have issues like this in our space? So check out that end of year manifesto. We really believe that there's the next step to where blockchain and crypto is going to go, and we want to position ourselves to be at the forefront of that.
Right. I'm just wondering. So I think it's the point that we can agree on. There's a lot of bad actors, and this is why I was referring that crypto in its current form is dead. There's a lot of bad actors, and I agree there's a lot of bad actors. But the thing, if you think about this, they want more. They want more centralization so that they can have more control, and Waves is pushing for decentralization. So doesn't that put you in a situation where you may like the projects that are within Waves who does not want this type of or excessive decentralization, don't you have this kind of fear that they eventually might migrate to other blockchains, or that there will be less people who will be joining into Waves because the influx that we have right now are bad actors and they don't want this, so
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, in order to achieve mass adoption, I really believe that you have to protect your community identity.
yeah.
And this is one of the things that we've really tried to instill since I joined Wave 6 months ago. I wrote a full guideline that was released at the end of the month in January. It's on our blog. Please take a look at that. But this is our ecosystem community guidelines. It outlines the type of people that we actually don't want in our ecosystem. And as crazy as that sounds in a decentralized ecosystem, there are particular people that are very harmful. They're toxic, and it's really not the type of people that identify with the type of ecosystem we're trying to move forward with. So we outline some of those, and really, this is just a product of our space being unregulated. These are human beings. They deserve to be heard. But some of the things that we're not going to allow is toxic and negative behavior, targeted abuse and harassment. These are the types of things that prevent people from joining the Waves ecosystem. And if you can imagine, walking into, I use Samsung as an example. Several of my friends work at Samsung, so pump to Samsung. But if you walked into Samsung's office and started screaming in the lobby negativity and swear words, you're going to be escorted out. And further to that, nobody of importance in that building may have heard you complaining because the leaders are, they're not tapped into their community. But that's not the case in blockchain or in crypto. We have full access to all leaders, founders, and people of importance in all of our social media channels. So this is something that we really are encouraging people to be positive towards, because this is, I mean, we're all human beings, but at the same time, we don't want to encourage negative behavior. So these guidelines will help us move forward with projects that are looking for like-minded professional ecosystem projects, people that want to work with multi-genders and multi-cultures and multilinguistic projects as well. Like these, we're looking for global adoption, not just silos of importance in certain regions or certain gender groups. We really want to unlock the potential of what mass adoption could provide for blockchain, and I don't think we're going to get that with our current form of negativity and bad actors infiltrating and causing FUD and spreading all these rumors or misinformation, which is largely what we're dealing with at Waves right now, is misinformation. I don't think that there's a place for that moving forward because these people are holding us back. So to touch upon your question about the projects, we're hoping to provide positive change for these projects within the ecosystem, that they'll start noticing their employees aren't as stressed out as much, their moderators aren't as stressed out as much. Like it alleviates a lot of stress when there's less negativity, and it allows the developers to build in a very peaceful way where they feel their products are appreciated. So we are really trying to provide a positive environment, an educating environment, a professional environment, and a welcoming and friendly environment. And I think, putting that mindset forward, I don't see how any project could be against that.
I mean, that is true. So these guidelines that you're talking about, where are you guys going to implement these? Because in Waves, where's this? If there it has to be one part that people can actually join, will it be like your Telegram group, or will it be your Discord? Where is it the community coming together, and where these guidelines will be implemented?
Thank you very much. We just renovated our Discord. It's going to be our first place that we're kind of changing the ecosystem, the community identity. And if you can think about, I don't want to say, let's just say, if you think about the solution to a problem, right, you have to start somewhere. You have to have an injection point, and Discord is our injection point. We've renovated the Discord, taking best practices from all the top NFT projects that I'm affiliated with. I really love NFTs. And Discord is the way that NFT communities stick together. Gamers and NFTs have done a great job with utilizing Discord. And Discord was actually one of the most unrecognized social media platforms that we had in our ecosystem. There was only a few thousand people that were in our Discord when I joined Waves, and I thought, what an opportunity for us to show what we can do with one platform and work our way out. So we completely gutted the Discord. We created opt-in roles. There's a verification. There's
Yeah.
an ecosystem economy bot for gaming. There's different languages for people around the world that can opt into that language and have access to those different channels that speak their language. We even have our ambassador core over in there, regional ambassador teams, our promotion tiers. There's so much going on in Discord that we're showing the ecosystem. This is what a friendly, welcoming community can look like. And from there, we're going to push these guidelines out. So all of our Telegram groups, Reddit, every social media platform that we have will start using these guidelines, and we will start slowly changing our community identity to being exactly that of a positive and encouraging, welcoming and supportive ecosystem moving forward.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it. I'll give you guys the link to the Discord. I'm gonna include all their social media, but well, you heard what's the best place for you to go to. So I'll be linking that in the description. Now we have discussed a lot of the topics, and we have discussed most of these things. These were, the things that were really important to discuss about Waves for someone who's really interested in it and what's happening next. So these are things that are going to happen, that has happened, and you can see where eventually this is going. There will be, of course, a lot of other updates that will be coming, but eventually, there will be an excessive decentralization that will be occurring in the Waves, and we have discussed, I think, a lot on this. Now there will be still a lot of things that still will be left to discuss, and there's a lot of other information about the topics that we discussed, which I'm going to give you guys links in the description, so you can check out all the blog posts, all the blog articles to know what's happening. If you're interested in a particular topic that we discussed, I'll give you guys timestamps so you can move forward, move back and forth to different topics. So links will be in the description. You can check this out from there. And again, we will be joining you guys in another session about the master program, so you can keep an eye on it for that too. And I'll let you have the last words about Waves, and then we'll just conclude this session.
Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting us today, Crypto Pablo, giving us the platform to speak and evangelize about the Waves ecosystem and the upcoming, products that we're releasing. I do encourage every single viewer to check out our ambassador program. Our landing page will be in the comments as well. We would love for you to join. It's a one-size-fits-all, part-time, a self-motivated program. There's no quotas. The bar of entry to start earning crypto from Waves is so simple, and we really encourage people to get involved and be part of the movement that we're trying to create with real organic community as a service.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I guess this is all of you guys in this video. In this session, and I personally really learned a lot from this, and there's a lot that we still need to learn. So thank you for joining and taking time out to teach, not just the whole community, but yeah. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So
thank you
stay
so much.
tuned.
Appreciate it. Talk soon.